Hello and welcome to Mindful Living, where we explore the art of living with the intention, balance, and inner peace. I am Avik, your host, guiding you through conversations on health, meditation, mental well being, mindfulness, and the mind body connection. Each episode features expert insights to help you grow, heal, and thrive. So, take a deep breath, relax, and join us on this journey to a more mindful and fulfilling life. So, let's get started.
Hello and welcome back, listeners, to the Mindful Living podcast with your host, Sana. Today's conversation promises to take you on a journey that's a bit out of this world, literally. We are diving into the fascinating world of meditation and spiritual transformation with Kara Goodwin, a meditation guide, host of the Meditation Conversation, and an energy healer who has experienced her consciousness on a cosmic scale. After a series of life altering events, Kara discovered the immense power of meditation, not only as a tool for grounding and healing, but as a gateway to expanded consciousness, universal insights, and even interdimensional experience. Her journey is awe inspiring and transformative, and she's here to share the depth of her experiences, insights, and the framework of universal truths she's uncovered along the way. So, if you have ever wondered about the deeper, most mystical layers of meditation, or you are curious about how this practice can profoundly alter your perception of reality, you are in for a treat, listeners. Kara's insights are sure to open your mind and inspire you to explore meditation with fresh perspective. So let's dive in and explore the magic and potential of meditation. Kara, welcome to the show, and it's an absolute honor to have you with us.
Thank you so much, Sana. I'm so excited to be here.
Kara, you have had some truly profound experiences through meditation. So, can you share what it was like to connect with your cosmic self and how that changed your view of daily life?
Yes. Well, having those more expanded experiences came later in my meditation journey. So I was very familiar with meditation, and I have had a daily meditation practice for several years by that time. But kind of expanding my consciousness so that I was kind of seeing space, for example, seeing the stars, seeing a night sky like 360-degree view is one of the many ways that has expressed itself, opened potential for much more going on in reality than what we accept through the physical experience. And being able to engage with, for example, insights that drop in, all of the sudden, that it feels like, wait, where did that come from? How do I understand this all at once? That type of a thing, where it's just more of a knowing, that type of, instead of seeing something. These different ways that our consciousness can open up and show itself without feeling like, okay, I'm sitting in a classroom and I'm understanding things bit by bit and somebody's teaching me and I am slowly kind of understanding how some theory behind something versus, wow, something just happened and I understand and see things in a totally different way all at once. It really made me see reality and the way that we understand reality in a different way, where it was a lot of times it's hard to find the language for it, right? but it's an understanding that the world around us that we engage with all the time, that we see through our regular five senses, is one layer of experience. And there are parts of our being, our consciousness, even our brains, our hearts, the energy that we are, when we can engage more directly with these kind of hidden parts within ourselves and awaken these hidden parts within ourselves, we have the opportunity to experience our lives and our reality in a very mystical way, in a way that defies what we're exposed to in our everyday reality. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, it sounds so beautiful. And I think I can think about the word ethereal experience. Which I think it's difficult to express through words, but I totally believe you, Kara. And, that's what we are trying to make our listeners realize, be mindful of that, meditation can be as a bridge to other realms and deeper realities. So, for those who may be new to meditation, or they could think that meditation is just a relaxation tool, just to clear your mind. That's it. How can they begin to tap into these deeper layers of consciousness?
Well, I came to meditation also just wanting to have some calmness, to be able to feel that that the world wasn't so crazy. I came to it because my life was crumbling around me. I had many family members that I was very close with who were dying or in serious medical issues, one needing a heart transplant, another needing a surgery on his brain stem. And it was just a very short period of time, a few months, where one thing after another, one tragedy after another was befalling my family. And it was really so difficult to go through. And meditation was a way for me to cope and for me to feel less stress. I knew that it helped with stress. I knew that it had calming properties, and I felt like my life was spiraling out of control. And so that's why I came to meditation. I was curious about the mystical aspects, but honestly, I felt that those were reserved experiences for monks or people living in the Himalayas, and that it was something that, as a wife and a mother and somebody who was living a regular modern life, that wasn't something that was going to come to me. I didn't feel that I was a psychic person or had any sort of real spiritual connection. And so I really was just wanting the peace and the feeling relaxed, feeling like I had it was a coping mechanism. And so I didn't even pray before I started. I didn't have any real so to say, I'll use air quotes, psychic experiences or mystical experiences for a long time. And it was, and I was learning the meditation protocols that I was using, the techniques, through people who followed Paramahansa Yogananda's tradition. So prayer was something that they taught us, but I personally didn't adopt a practice of prayer. And so I was not coming at it from a spiritual perspective, from a mystical perspective. But it was something that the more that I did it and dedicated time to exploring meditation, it started opening up within me. So I remember the first kind of experience that caught my attention with meditation that seemed like outside of the realm of regular, just feeling calmer, feeling more peaceful coming out of meditation, was experiencing my eyes closed, and it felt like sunlight was coming into my mind. So behind my closed eyes, I was seeing light, and it looked like sunlight descending behind my closed eyes, like it was just for this inner light, or it actually felt that it was coming from above and pouring into me. And that was so moving to me. I started crying, and I was just by myself. I was having my own meditation. It was probably like a 10 or 15-minute meditation that I was doing. And it was so unexpected, and it felt like such a huge blessing. And it really felt like an intelligence was delivering this light. It didn't feel that I was creating this light. It was like I was receiving this light, and I was so moved by it. And it really made me feel like connected to something, even though I couldn't put words. I mean, I would have said God or my higher self or whatever, but there was a worthiness within me that I felt like, because I wasn't a monk, or I wasn't dedicating my life to God, or, I was just kind of living a regular life, that I was kind of invisible to God. I wasn't really making a difference. And he has so many problems to deal with, and so many more people needed God's attention than I did. I had a roof over my head, and I had access to food, and all of these things. I really didn't feel worthy or seen by the divine, that it was necessary for me to take those. I kind of saw it as like a limited resource. Like, don't pay attention to me, because then you wouldn't be paying attention to the people who really need it. And now I understand it is not like that. It's not a limited resource. It's kind of like, I heard somebody describe it years ago as like the moon is always there, and anybody can look at it in the night sky. And the more people who look at it, and nobody takes away from the moon, right? It's like, if I'm looking at the moon, I'm not taking the moon away from you. It's right there for you. And it's like this. In fact, I think it's even goes beyond that, where it's the more people who are focusing on the spiritual nature, the spiritual reality that's behind and through everything, the more it actually strengthens it, because we are all there's a collective consciousness, there's a collective intelligence that we're all pulling from and contributing to. It's an energy. You can think of it as just like almost like, if we could see it, I think it would look kind of like a mist or a fog. Like if you're walking out in the fog and the mist, and it's an energy that you're a part of. And it's that collective consciousness we all are influenced by. So the more people who are opening themselves up to the spiritual energy that's around them, and they're bringing their attention to it, the stronger that gets in the collective consciousness, and it permeates everything, and it uplifts everybody, whether they realize it or not. So going back to your question, sorry to have that divergence, but that light coming in was kind of my first mystical experience. And it wasn't me trying to access anything mystical within me, because I didn't think I had access to it. And so just really through developing a traditional meditation practice, the more I devoted time every day to doing it, the more things configured within my inner world to connect me to that spiritual aspect, that mystical aspect. It kind of just happened behind the scenes. The more I experienced like that light, and like feeling different things coming in, it strengthened it within me, and it just kind of made it more apparent to me, and I put more attention on it, and that opened up more of my willingness to explore the spiritual aspects. And it was one of those kind of like, you see a little bit more, it sparks the curiosity, you open yourself up a little bit more, and it allows more in. And, I did start praying, and I did start kind of trying to understand how I could draw more of that into my own experience. So it was a spiral, right? The more experience I had, the more I wanted the experiences. So the more I did what I could to open myself up to it, like prayer and tapping into different methods that could facilitate things like that. And so that's how it worked for me.
This is so relatable. This is not out of something miraculous. It was a journey. It was a process, and I'm very sure our listeners, they'll find it so relatable, because I think with time and with commitment, you actually found a deeper meaning to meditation. So thank you so much for sharing this with all of us.
Thank you.
And you have also discovered latent healing abilities through your practice. So, can you talk about what this energy healing feels like and how it connects to your meditation journey?
What a beautiful question. So I am a Reiki master. That was the modality. Reiki is the energy modality that I learned when I first wanted to begin understanding healing energy. And what I loved so much about Reiki is that the approach is like, this is energy that's accessible to everybody. And if you learn, it was kind of like meditation for me, where it's like it's not just reserved for monks. It's accessible to everybody. You just need to understand how to utilize it, because it's flowing through everything. You have access to it. Pretty quickly after becoming a Reiki master, as I was working with people on their healing, I could feel other things kind of happening within me beyond the traditional Reiki. That were just kind of elements that I would feel in the moment, that I wanted to add in. And so a lot of these, like if you were watching me do healing work, you would not be able to see that I was necessarily doing anything outside of traditional Reiki, because so much of it is inward. It's through the intention. It's through kind of using the senses beyond the five senses to, for instance, I use the chakra system. That's kind of the foundation of where I typically work, direct the life force. But it's with Reiki, you kind of work one part of the chakra system or one body part at a time. There are things when I'm working with people where I just feel very strongly like, okay, here's an energy point, and I need to also hold another energy point within them. So I may be working, for example, on their heart center or their high heart, their thymus area above the heart. And I may just feel like I also need to put a hand on the top of their head and then just hold my concentration. And then I'm also invoking my divine team and their divine team, their higher self, my guides, their guides, kind of whoever can come and work for the highest good on this person. And I just had a session last week with a friend of mine, and it was so beautiful because I felt like, okay, I need to hold here and here and just wait, just hold and keep my attention with them. And then all of a sudden, I saw this ultraviolet light come through, like between my hands, but it was moving through the body. And then I was talking to her afterwards, and she was describing, she's like, oh my gosh, there was all this like white purple light. And I said, oh, I saw that. It was when I saw it when I had one hand here and one hand there. And she's like, yes. And I had music playing, and the music turned way up, and we both noticed that as well. I'm like, yeah, the music got really loud. And of course, I'm not touching it, I'm touching her. And I thought, is it my imagination? Like, I thought it seemed like the music, she's like, yes, the music did get really loud. I was like, how did she turn that up? Because I can feel both of her hands. So anyway, all of that to say just that there is kind of that underlying modality that I do really respect and love the Reiki tradition. And I still utilize what I learned, and I utilize the Reiki symbols and work with that because it's a consciousness that you're working with, but I don't limit myself as I feel that intuitive guidance to utilize. I believe that there it's intelligence from other lives that I've had that I just, don't really fully know the history of, but I just feel inspired, and then I feel what happens. And it just kind of let myself be led in that way.
Wow. Wow. That was so beautiful, Kara.
Thank you.
So, with all the incredible visions and experiences you have had, do you think meditation has the power to unlock these insights for everyone, or is this something unique to certain individuals?
I think that it's both, right? I don't think it's exclusive. If there are people who are drawn to opening themselves up in to this flow of energy and to healing, it is accessible to them. And I think that it's attractive to certain types of people who might have more of a, let's say, destiny to, or more of like their soul's blueprint. It's one of those, I think, of like, if you're drawn to it, it's probably because there's some things within you that are asleep that can be activated. But through your own choice, your own dedication, your own like inspiration to say, wow, this sounds really cool, and I feel like I would enjoy doing that. Then it's like, oh, follow your joy, follow your curiosity. It's probably there because there is something that you haven't yet accessed that you can access and wake up. And so I don't know that we would ever know, like, could just anybody do it, because it does take time, it takes devotion, it takes practice, it takes patience to let these things grow and be discovered and experienced. And if somebody were not naturally inclined towards that, I think that would prevent them from exploring it, right?
True, true. Great, Kara. That was such a beautiful and heart-touching conversation. And if our listeners they wish to connect with you, explore more about the other perspectives to meditation, a deeper meaning to it, how they can do that.
Well, first of all, Sana, thank you so much for having me on. I've really just loved your presence. You hold such a beautiful space. So thank you for everything that you're doing. People can find me on karagoodwin.com. That's KaraGoodwin. And that has all of my services. You can learn to meditate with a self-study course on there. I have an online community. And I have a podcast called The Meditation Conversation, and you can get all of my episodes. I have 370 plus episodes at themeditationconversation.com. And then I have an exciting summit coming up that I'm hosting, my very first summit. That is next Thursday. Well, for me, it's Thursday, November 14th. I think in India, it will be actually starting on November 15th, which is Friday. It's free to join live, and then I'll have the replay available for 12 hours after, just because, time zone issues. So that people don't have to wake up in the middle of the night if that's the case. And then you can purchase the replay to have forever. And there are VIP opportunities with some amazing gifts, but I have some incredible guest speakers, and we're going to be talking about miracles. And each guest is going to give tips on how we can align ourselves more to invite in more miracles into our lives. So I'm really excited about that. And you can get info on that on karagoodwin.com too.
Lovely, lovely. This is huge, Kara. We'll have all the details mentioned for our listeners in the show notes. And Kara, thank you so much for joining us on Mindful Living today and for sharing such an inspiring glimpse into the expansive world of meditation and spiritual transformation. And your journey from a time of deep loss to discovering your cosmic self and unlocking universal truths is a reminder of the power of resilience, curiosity, and an open heart. So, thank you so much.
Thank you.
And to our listeners, if Kara's story and her insights has sparked something in you, consider exploring meditation in new ways, allowing it to guide you not just to peace, but perhaps even to transformative insights of your own. So, thank you for tuning in, everyone. And remember to keep embracing life with curiosity, openness, and willingness to explore the unknown. Until next time, stay mindful and inspired. Thank you.